Hi, I hope you're all well. I thought I would show you how to paint the Delphiniums in the playroom because I had lots of lovely messages about the Delphiniums, and if you break them down into very simple structures, they are so easy to paint, and I just thought some of you might want to have a go. I have painted the entire playroom using £70 worth of sample pots, which I just think is such a bargain when you think how much rolls of wallpaper cost. Like a good quality roll of wallpaper costs a fortune. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight in, or I'll start rambling. I've got 8 colours. I might not use them all. I've got a selection of sort of powdery purples, a very, very pale lemony citrus green, a dark sagey green, and then this very sort of dusky lavender colour. And we're going to start by painting the buds at the top of the Delphinium. And I hope you can see, because it took me about 10 years to set the cameras up. Like total amateur, rookie. So let's get started. So at the top of your Delphinium, you've generally got a little cluster of buds that look like little olives or little tiny grapes. Really simple, few little oval shapes at the top. They can all be different sizes, different shapes. Don't make things too symmetrical, because nothing in your garden is symmetrical. Which is why I love painting flowers, because I don't really think you can get them wrong. Okay, maybe we'll just do one more here. Okay, done. There's our buds. Now we're going to do a couple of little buds that are sort of semi-opening. And in order to do that, you just need to paint like a crescent moon, half moon shape, and then give it a little raggedy edge. And let's do another one here. It's a bit of a bigger one. Like that. There you go, top of the Delphinium is almost done. In like 10 minutes you'll have a Delphinium on your wall. Next I'm going to go in to the paler, this kind of paler purple here, really powdery lavender colour, and I'm going to start with a little cluster of the flowers. And to simplify the shape of the flowers, they're basically like a 5-pointed star with sort of, you know, soft petal shapes. Do that one like that. And again, I make them all different so that they feel a bit more authentic. I feel like I've been talking for ages already. God, I'm exhausted. I'll tell you who the queen of how-tos is Willow Crossley. I love watching her how-tos. So therapeutic. I think this one might fall a little bit short. So let's do another one here. In fact, let's do this one just to prove the point that all your flowers are going to be different. Let's do this one on its side. So you're going to have larger petals on this side than you are on this side. And your petals are always going to be a bit paler. Your outer petals are always going to be paler than your inner petals, which is where you're going to put some of those like nice dark tones. There you go. Can you hear that train rumbling by? Need a sound engineer here. Do another one here. Maybe this petal's got a little hole in it, maybe a little slug or a naughty caterpillar's had a bite out of it. There we go. So we've got 3 here, and generally you would put another 3 here. That's how Delphiniums are made up. They're made up of lots of clusters of flowers together. But for now, let's just work on this area. So I'm going to go back up to my little crescent moon shapes here and just add some of those petals as if the bud is just starting to open. It's unfurling. You make the edges a little bit softer, like that. Do the other one here. This one's a bit shorter, it's a younger bud maybe. Okay. Perfect. Okay, what are we going to do next? You can tell I've never done this before. I think we'll add a bit of definition inside our petals. So I'm going to go into this darker of my purples and then just go in the centre of the first flower here and just start brushing a bit of that deeper colour out to the outside, because the centre of your flower is generally in the shade and then the light hits the outer petals. And I'm doing it quite roughly and then I'll blend it in a second. As you can see, I'm not using many colours at all. I've only got 8 colours in my palette and so far I've only used 3 of them. Will start to take shape hopefully. There you go, that one's done. I am working quite quickly. I would never normally work this quickly. So hopefully it works and it doesn't look like a complete disaster to you all. I'm just going to put a little bit of water on my brush. And just gently blend that darker colour into the paler outside petals. And you can add, you know, like little lines, little veins. These petals are all unique. Just soften everything down a little bit. And these paints are all Craig and Rose samples. And they blend so nicely together. I mean, they blend just as they would if you were using watercolours or acrylic or any of the kind of art shop paints that you would get. They're so nice to work with. Okay, how's it looking? Put too much water on there and I'm getting drips. Keep blending them away. End up having a big track of one right down the wall in a second. There we go. Right, and then I'm going to go back up here and with that same dark purple add a little bit of definition to these buds too, because as petals are unfurling, you know, you've got ones that are behind and it just gives it a feeling of depth and dimension. Lovely. Brush a quick clean. Bit of water just to soften all those lines up. And then we're ready to go back into our buds and add some of the darker green. So I've got a little fiddly brush here. It's my skinniest brush. All of my brushes have seen better days. I've seen a lot of action in this room. I'm going to go into that dark, this really dark green here. Just soften it up a little bit with a bit of water. Sometimes paints can go quite gloopy if they're exposed to air for too long. And then back into the top of these buds, just to make them feel a bit more real. So I'm going to go around the bottom in that dark green, as if it's kind of sitting in it, and then draw a few little veins running up to the top. Almost look like gooseberries. A bit more water. the next one. That's the one. You can see they begin to come a bit more to life. I just find so exciting when out of a handful of paint shades you can start to get quite realistic results. Never fails to excite me. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same to these buds here, like that. Ta-da! How's it looking? You be the judge. Just make your comments kind. And then I'm going to join these up. So just kind of decide where the stems are going to go. I just kind of make it up as I go along, really. That's the fun of it, is it's your choice how it trails up your wall. I think one thing just to bear in mind, if you can, is gravity and how things would naturally fall. Like this little bud here is obviously bending a bit under the weight. So make sure the stem shows that. Okay, then trail it all the way down here. It's going to disappear behind that cluster of flowers. There we go. And now we're going to just work on the structures inside the flowers to give them some depth. And inside Delphiniums, they have these really lovely kind of daisy structures, I would call them. So first of all, oh my god, my legs are going dead. I'm going to take this white, which is actually the only colour I've almost run out of. Everything else, I'm working from the same set of sample pots I got in the beginning. The man in Homebase thought I was utterly mad, just bringing sort of 25 sample pots in varying shades to the counter. I think he thought I was the most indecisive person he'd ever seen. So I'm just going to start doing a little daisy shape inside that flower, like that. Happy with that. And then this one is going to be slightly on its side. So the petals on this side are going to be a bit shorter than they are on that side. Another one. Like that. Lovely. And then we're going to go back into that dark, the darker green. This one here. And around your little daisy, you're going to put some tiny, almost like green petals. I think they're little leaves when you look at a delphinium. Little leaves in here like that. Like so. I'm a real believer in you could do this yourself at home. Don't be put off by it or daunted. The worst case scenario is you don't like it. You just think, oh God, don't like what I've done there. Paint over it. I mean, it's not a big deal really, is it? And the likelihood is you will really enjoy doing it and also be very happy with the results. So now inside the centre of my daisy, doing a small circle, well, it's like a little button actually, like that. There we go. Happy with that. And then back into that dark green and just carry the stem on down behind these flowers, and some of them have little leaves maybe coming off them, like that. A little leaf here, try and don't make anything too symmetrical, because nothing in your garden is symmetrical. Just make everything go different ways. Okay. And on we go, all the way down, and that is literally all there is to it. I mean, in 10 minutes we've painted most of a delphinium. It's super quick, and you can build them up in all different lovely colours. Delphiniums come in the most beautiful shades. And then I'm going to do another cluster of flowers. I'm going to do another little cluster here, and then I think this delphinium might split. One might go off this way and join up with some delphiniums over my shoulder, join up with those ones behind me. So I will leave the camera running and turn it into a little time lapse so you can see them get finished off. But I hope you found that useful. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you all haven't fallen asleep. I mean, I've been talking for about 15 minutes. I need to speed up a bit. I'm absolutely exhausted. And have a great day. Have a great week. Bye.